was a little bit lagging, but I think it's better now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. Good, good, good. So how's everything going with the
Pretty good.
quarantine
Yeah.
and all that stuff?
Yeah, just
Hmm.
doing, workouts, in my basement, just trying to stay fit. I'm on like a schedule. So basically DC sent us a whole schedule each week of like running, lifting, and just a lot of stuff just to stay fit. So I just finished my conditioning like an hour ago. So that
Hmm.
was pretty intense. So basically I finished that for the day. So I'm just chilling.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I finished mine about an hour ago as well. I like to do Fridays as the fitness day, you know. End the
Oh,
week
that's good. Yeah, that's
off
good.
good, you know. Um,
Yeah, of course, of course.
yeah. hmm hmm So, yeah, I just thought I'd, bring you on and I was wondering if you could share, like your your story, growing up, playing soccer, all that stuff, because here,
Okay.
just we're just gonna start with the football side and see how it goes. So yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I started when I was 5 years old is when I first started. And so I was in a rec team growing up in Columbia, Clarksville area.
Hmm.
And so that's where I kind of grew up playing. And then I played for SAC, and that
Hmm.
was in the Soccer Association of Columbia. So I was in Columbia, Maryland. So I played for them for like,
Hmm.
6 or 7 years growing up. And I had the same coach for like 6 years on that team, and then there was a rule that my coach couldn't coach us anymore because there was like some rule. So I had to find a different team because I really enjoyed that coach, and he pretty much developed me really well at a young age. And his name was Coach Glenn Cadenhead. So
Hmm.
he was a really good coach and like mentor for me and for a lot of players too. And so he left. He had to go to some other team. And then I did another year with SAC. And then I was like, I think I need to find a different team. So basically, then I, looked for different teams like Baltimore Bays, Pipeline, um, Thunder, and then DC sent me an email. Who's the coach? Mike Marciano. That was his name.
Hmm.
So he he sent me an email basically saying, "Hey, you should try out for DC." And I was like, okay, this is a gateway into the first team. So
Hmm.
I'll try and see how it goes. So then I try out for the team, and then I see all these guys that I knew from all over, Virginia. Um, Pennsylvania, Maryland, all these guys that I played against who were really good, and I saw that they all
Hmm.
wanted to try out for DC too, and so we made the team, and I'm still friends with them now, even when I was like 14, 13 when I started in the pre-academy phase. So I started in the pre-academy when I was 13. I made that transition, and then I played high school soccer. So I played at in River Hill High School for like 1 year. And so that was really fun. So I got to play, high school soccer, and also I played high school basketball. So I got to, get the best of both worlds for the sports that I
Hmm.
played in high school. And then when I
Basketball,
signed,
of course.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah,
Hmm.
not many people know I played basketball as well in high school. So I played JV, and then I got moved up to varsity at the end of the year. So
Hmm.
then um, I had to sign an academy contract, and I had to basically I couldn't play any high school sports. So I was with the academy full time for DC, and it was something that I had to dig like, okay, I gotta play for um, who's that? Oh, Nick, what's up, man? So I had to stick with that and through the whole thing, and so I had to go to showcases, and basically how I got recruited to go to my next step, which was at Maryland. Basically it was me going to showcases and performing in some big games, like we play other MLS teams, and doing well. So you just never
Hmm.
know who's going to be watching. So you got to make sure you're always playing well, or challenging yourself and always playing as hard as possible during that time. So that was kind
Hmm.
of big, So that was really big in my mind. Like you have to always show up to games. You never know who's watching, and I'm playing in front of 40 college coaches, during that time.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
in the showcases. So I was like really really scared and stressed, but you just got to play the game. Just got to have fun, play the game that you love, and enjoy it. So
Hmm.
uh, that was basically how I got recruited to come to Maryland. So I got recruited when I was I think sophomore junior year of high school, and yeah, so it was yeah. And then should I continue? You have any other
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
I
Okay.
like listening to it. So that
Of course,
sounds
yeah.
good. Um,
Okay.
so
What's
sophomore
up
and
next?
junior is pretty early, so that's good. Did you have any other offers as well?
Yeah, so I was looking to play at North Carolina Chapel Hill. So
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to go there, but I talked to the coaches, and you know I really want to go there because my major I wanted to be a marine biologist or some kind of
Mm-hmm.
biologist. So they had a really good biology program.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had to switch that because there's like a lot of stuff that I didn't. It was really complicated in the process. So I talked to the coach. I didn't really get a good
Mm-hmm.
warm fuzzy with them. So then I switched, and I looked at Elon. I looked at
Mm-hmm.
UMBC. Looked at Maryland. Looked at California schools, and then I, came to choose Maryland because my dad worked there. My sister went there at the time, and I think it was the best bet for me as a person, staying home, close to home.
Mm-hmm.
I know people there, and it was a good foundation because I really enjoyed, um, the soccer there. At a young age, I would go to the soccer games. I was ball boying for them, and I looked up to Ethan White, and he was a center back for them. And so I
Mm-hmm.
really, I really enjoyed watching him. And so I always asked the game, like, I want to be just like you. So
Wow.
I had a chance to meet him, and so
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool to
Mm-hmm.
meet him. And then I think I got to play with him one time
Mm-hmm.
when I was just it was just like a camp, so it was like the
Mm-hmm.
campers against the players, so that was pretty cool. Kind of I was looking up to him, and then I played against him, and so that was pretty cool. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like
Did he leave DC?
he went to like the Union, and then he was like all over the league, and so I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to remember what where he went, but he's doing fine. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it was pretty cool. Uh,
That's
I
cool. That's
met him.
cool.
Yeah, he also went to Maryland, so that was pretty cool. And then I kind
Yeah.
of
Mm-hmm.
followed in his footsteps. And then yeah, so I went to Maryland. Then I freshman year I did really well. Even though coming off the bench I wasn't starting, but with like the minutes that I got, I did really well. We were undefeated. We were number one in the nation. We were like really really doing well. And then we lost against Providence, and that
Mm-hmm.
was probably one of the worst losses I've ever had because I wasn't starting, but I was on the bench, and it was a cold night, and Sasho uh, will never forget this night, and we were up like 3-0, and somehow they come back 3 goals, unbelievable goals, like defied physics.
Mm-hmm.
And then um, they score a fourth one, and so then I think we score a goal, and then they score another goal, so it's like 5-4. Then they bring in me, hoping that as a center back I could do something, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with 5 minutes left in the game, but I'll do my best. And really, we didn't have any opportunities for me to get on a header or get on a
Mm-hmm.
corner.
Yeah.
But that loss was really bad because we were undefeated, and then that was our first loss of the season, the NCAA tournament, and it was kind of crazy. But we had a good run though. It was a great first season. But then later down the line, junior year, we won the national championship, and
Mm-hmm.
so that propelled me into going, sign my homegrown contract, or, going overseas. I was looking at some English Premier League teams. I was
Hmm.
looking at like, Queens Park Rangers,
Hmm.
just some clubs overseas that I played against, and they wanted to, do a trial with me. So that was pretty cool. But
So you
yeah,
played, when did you play against them? You said
so that was during my,
like
hmm,
QPR.
I think my sophomore year in the spring. Yeah, yeah. So so
Hmm.
in the spring we got to go to England, and we played Leicester City, we played Queens Park Rangers, we played a Welsh team, and we were supposed to play in Stoke City, but I guess that game got canceled, so we couldn't play with them. But yeah, so that was, what's up, Aaron? Um, and yeah, so that was pretty cool experience. I mean, we got to go to England, got to play all those teams. Um, it was kind of a blessing to be there. So it's really, really, really awesome experience. Really, I'll never forget it with the guys. It was really fun. Um, but yeah, so that was, yeah.
Did that open you? How was that experience, if you want to even go a little further
Uh,
overall in
Honestly, that was
England?
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty eye-opening, because
Mm,
all the players that I played with, were looking up to these, English Premier League players and those teams, and you realize, hey, we can play at this level. We can play against them and do well, and it kind of makes us, our confidence, go up and rise, and be like, okay, we're actually capable players. We're American players that are capable of playing, over in Europe, and we're playing against these guys who are, basically professionals, like under 23. It was like the under 20 23 team. So that's who we played against. And
mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty cool to just um, admire the fact that we all could play against these guys, and we're all capable, and we all the work we put in over the years, and we finally got to play against them and show our skills and do well. So it was a blessing, to be there and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sounds like a cool experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and then you signed the homegrown contract
hmm
your junior year, you said, at Maryland?
Yeah, so junior year. So I would have had one more year left
Mm-hmm.
to play. So basically, this would have been my last season at the moment. So I would have probably graduated from Maryland this spring.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, so it's been crazy though. I mean, I was gonna go overseas and do trials in England, and then I signed a homegrown that got me before I could go. So it's just like, next time I'm about to go on a plane and
Yeah,
head over to England, and then like, oh, we
not
want you
so
to
fast.
look. Yeah, yeah. It's like, stop here. So I was like, oh shoot, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then so then I looked at the contract, and we discussed, and then I signed my first contract, MLS homegrown contract. So
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, of course, thanks
So
to God, right? Um,
yeah.
could you have turned that down if you wanted to? Like go overseas?
Uh
But yeah.
yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. So honestly, like, I really wanted to see if I could play overseas and do trials and play with those players, in England. But I think it was good that I got um, a chance to play here in the U.S. And basically, it was like
Mm-hmm.
more of, I'm home. If anything
Mm-hmm.
happens, I can, I'm 35 minutes from my house,
Mm-hmm.
close to the stadium. So if I ever need anything, I'm just a 35-minute drive away from my parents, and
Mm-hmm.
they can help me out with anything. So it was good just to get grounded here first, develop, a focus here, and strive for excellence here with DC. And plus,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up loving, the club DC, and playing for them for,
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7 years. And you just gotta, I just feel like I should, give back to the team that, progressed me forward. So I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
believer in, like, karma, and everything that happens for a reason. And if someone does something for you, you should give back, and, you should always help out who helped you. So I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make sure I made a mark with DC, and help this team as much as possible, and hopefully they help me develop as a player. as a center back in the league and do the best that I can for the team.
I like that. You're thinking more long term as well,
Yeah, yeah.
because like, you had a contract in hand versus trial offers over there. Even if it was, something good, you're thinking more long term and the longevity, you just,
hmm
which is really good, for a young player to think like that too, so
hmm
that's great. Let's see here. Yeah, continue on. Keep going.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, so I signed my homegrown contract,
hmm
and so I was pretty sick. I was really happy, and I go in the preseason. It was a tough. It was. I think these two preseasons have been tough for me. First,
hmm
in the beginning, I had to get used to different cleats because I was Under Armour, and so I had to switch from Under Armour to Adidas because we're Adidas league, and so that was really tough because my toes, I had some toe problems in the beginning of the preseason, and so had just some toe problems. My cleats were kind of hurting me, and I couldn't really focus on my craft as much. I'm
Tough
focusing
with
on
the
my feet and
size,
my
size,
yeah,
size 15 or something. How big
yeah,
are
yeah.
the?
Nah, size 13, size 13. You're close, you're close. So
Not bad.
size 13,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Maybe
hmm
14 with regular shoes, But
hmm
yeah, so uh into, playing first team games in the beginning. But things happen for a reason, God always has a plan. So
hmm
I maintained the focus, and I was like, okay, let me just, do as best as possible in the USL, help out in Loudon and do the best I can and help them as a new club because this is their first year. And so I was trying to, get their first win, get first tie, first goal and all this stuff, so I wanted to help them as much as possible. So help USL Loudon as much as possible, and I did well in those games, improved. I could play at that level, so it was pretty cool. And So that was interesting. And I was playing with a lot of guys that I knew who are on DC and who were in college. So that was pretty cool as well. Uh, and then I did well in like 4 or 3 games, and I got my first start against Colorado Rapids. And so I was really nervous. Everyone was talking to me like, Donovan, this is your chance. Don't screw it up. And I'm like, I'm just like, okay, I prayed before the game. I prayed the day before. I read my Bible. I made sure, my head was straight. And, I told myself, play just like how you played in the national championship to win, against Akron. And so I get my mindset. I got focused. I didn't let anyone distract me. And I came out. I probably played one of the best games I've ever played in my life. It was like I made all my tackles were perfect. My passing, someone said my passing percentage was like almost 100%. It was incredible. I was just like, everyone was telling me all these things, but I just played the game. I just wanted to have fun, and play the game that I love, and enjoy it. And it was probably a really enjoyable game because even though the other team scored first, which I was kind of mad about, we came back and won the game. And Chris Durkin scored his first goal, so we had a couple homegrown guys in the game. It was like me, Durkin, Jalen, Robinson, and
hmm
so that was really a blessing to behold, and just to play in that game and enjoy just the energy and the crowd, and the one thing that I don't miss from that game was the elevation because everybody was huffing and puffing in Colorado because the elevation's
hmm
so high. So we had like 2 days to adjust to it. So it was
hmm
really, really, really tough to do that, but it was
hmm
fun either way, So. Um, I
hmm
really had a really good time in Colorado in that first game, and I think after that I kept starting more games, and I was
hmm
doing really well. And then I got injured against Columbus, but I didn't even know it. So that was a big letdown because um, I was doing so well, staying consistent in all those games. And then after the game, I was shaking everyone's hand, and I went up to a fan and took a picture, and then I was going down the tunnel. And then I look at my knee and I'm like, oh my gosh, what, it's kind of swollen. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And then I go to my media guy and he's like, yeah, Donnie, that doesn't look good. I'm like, all right, I should be okay. It's probably just a bruise. And then I got an MRI the next day, and it was just Yeah, it was not good. It's not good
Mm,
news. It's like a slight tear. So I was out for a little bit, had to do some recovery, and I just said I have to come back stronger. And I did, and then I started more games, and I was doing really well. And then I messed up one time in a game, and then it didn't really discourage me because I know I did my best at the time that they needed me, and I tried my best in those moments. And I'll be ready when I get my moment again, and I'll keep moving forward and um, doing the best that I can and for the team.
definitely, definitely. That
Yeah.
sounds good, man. And so, throughout your journey, you've mentioned as well that it's all God's plan and things like that, and
Hmm.
also before that first game, how you were getting in the Word in the Scripture, praying things like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So how throughout your journey, how do you think your faith has helped you, and yeah, how's it helped you in throughout your journey as a player?
Yeah. So as a player, so developing, I really, always prayed before games and always, stayed true to what I believed in as, a Christian, like a Baptist. And I would pray before games, make sure my head was in the right place because, God, put me in this game or uh, put me in the situation for a reason. And I always do my best and I always, pray to Him every day. And so do the best that I can. So we prayed when we went to sleep, and we went to church on Sundays. If we couldn't, because of soccer, uh, that was okay. We kind of made up for it. But for me, God really played an important role in everything I've done to this point. Because without Him, I don't know where I would be. And in the beginning, or there's a thing in the beginning where towards transitioning to college because I was really a science major, and so I was, in the biology, and so I was really thinking, because I enjoyed biology, and I didn't know how to connect the pieces of, God made the Earth in 7 days, or the science theory of the Big Bang and how Earth became, a star or just a planet, and how all this happened, and so I was trying to, find the actual concepts so I could really understand. And I was kind of in a tough place at the moment when I was transitioning to college because I was reading a lot about, science and the Big Bang Theory, and I was believing a little bit more in that. And then I still believed in, Christ and the 7 days theory and everything. And so I really had to find some kind of justice in justification for what I really believed in. So then I called up my grandpa, and basically he just ran it through me, and he really helped me just push the science a little aside. Even though I still enjoy the science aspect, he pushed that aside, and I focused more on Christianity and religion, and so that propelled me a little bit, forward in my faith and understanding of God and Christ. So that was really a big transition for me, and yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Would you recommend like so how you had your grandpa help you
Hmm.
out in that as well? Like um would you like would you recommend other people to, find someone who else is, stronger in their faith and
Yeah.
yeah and be okay with like, asking questions and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think for anybody, who's on here, just if you're having any, trouble or any, just ask somebody. It doesn't hurt to ask. Always ask questions are good. I mean, that's the best thing you can
Hmm.
do, to be honest, because you can learn as much as you can. You
Hmm.
never want to be, in a box. Everyone's there to help you to progress through life. So,
Hmm.
I had questions growing up, and I was a shy kid, but once I asked the questions, then everything was better. A huge weight just came off my shoulders. Just felt like
Hmm.
um, I just felt good, and I felt accomplished. And there's always a good feeling and accomplishment if you understand something or you finally put in the work, or in anything you do, you just want to understand and ask questions. That's the best thing you can do when you're growing up and trying to figure
hmm
out who you want to be. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably the
Yeah,
same with you.
it says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, and knock and the door will be open to you, And
There you go. Yeah.
this is also perseverance too,
Hmm.
like, sometimes, if you don't ask because you feel like you might bother someone or whatever, but I found out, like I've, experienced things like that where it's like, there other people are more than willing to share,
Yeah, of course.
and things like that. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, and then another thing where it's like, because I also kind of I've been interested in science too, and trying to like wrap
Hmm.
my mind around like all these things
Yeah.
that go on,
Hmm.
but what I've started to realize as well is that like we have human minds, and our human minds can't conceive or understand fully what God has for us, because
Hmm.
we are human, So it's like,
Right.
um, yeah, so like that is that's something I started to to learn about and or to have to remind myself as well,
Yeah,
and like
always.
and also like faith, because it's
Hmm.
like first of all it's like you know it's God, like
Hmm.
we cannot see him, right? So
Hmm.
it's like that right there is a belief in
Hmm.
something that you cannot even see, right?
Right.
So it's like then of course there's going to be other things that require some sort of faith, right? Some
Hmm.
sort of faith where our human minds cannot, understand fully, conceive, whatever, So,
Right.
um, yeah, just trying to remind myself of that helps me, So,
Right. Yeah,
mm,
no, I agree. I mean, you always want to keep your faith. I mean, there's always times where you're gonna be in troubled times and times of like turmoil and everything, and you just got to remind yourself, okay, things are gonna happen for a reason. I can't,
hmm
forget that he's always looking out for me and always
hmm
has my back and always, he's always looking down on me and I'm always praying to him and he's always looking down on me. So you can
hmm
always keep in mind that he's blessing you. He's waking up in the morning. He's starting you on your way. That's kind of what I always say to myself. Always wake. Sometimes
hmm
you just wake up and just be blessed that you're
hmm
waking up and you're able to get out of bed and start your day off.
hmm
So I always I think about that every time I wake up. I smile, look outside. Just it's the simple things that I
Yeah,
kind of
man.
just uh, I enjoy.
hmm
And it's just it's a cool thing. So growing up, like we would sing songs, and when I got to a time when I got old, then I started to understand the songs and the meaning of what they were saying, and I was just really really just in awe about all this greatness that I, missed when I was younger, and now I'm
hmm
figuring it out now. But just also enlightening because
hmm
now I'm understanding it and I can apply it to my life a little bit more,
hmm
in understanding and to my daily routines. So it's pretty cool. So you should always keep your faith, and if you have any questions, just ask somebody because they'll always point you in the right direction if you ask the right people.
hmm
Uh, so they're
hmm
they're out there. You just gotta find them.
hmm Yeah, exactly. And yeah, asking, the right people is good, as well. And like also getting perspectives from everyone, other people too. Like there's nothing also wrong with asking why,
Hmm.
it's interesting as well, hearing, why from people, who might not be followers of Christ. And
Hmm.
another thing that has, helped me as well is like understanding that everyone is on a different parts of their journey too,
Yeah, exactly.
So just like how you came back, to Christ more deep as of recently, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Or in college, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Three,
yeah,
4 years ago. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So everyone's on a different part of their journey, Someone might, come, to God and when they're 40 years old, but like
Hmm.
The thing is, it's
So that's
like it.
still okay.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not, fully in our control, So,
Right. Yeah.
um, so yeah, so
Right.
um. Oh, also before the season, you were on. Were you able to train with Swansea? I heard as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah, good question. So yeah, so I was able to train with Swansea before preseason, and so I was, it was really fun. So I thought it was going to be not just me. I thought it was going to be me, Griffin, Moses, and a couple other guys, but they couldn't make it, so I was the only one who went. So I was kind of nervous because I never went to, a different country that far away, alone for 2 weeks. So it was really different, and it was good that it was just for soccer. So it was something I knew how to do. So
Mm-hmm.
it was not something that was like random, maybe for school that I
Mm-hmm.
may need help with. But it was really fun experience. I got to see like the first I saw like one of my like this famous striker named Wilfried Boney, and so
Mm-hmm.
I was just walking into the hotel and I saw my trainer Johnny Northeast, and he greeted me. It was really nice. He drove me from the train to the hotel, and like the second person I see is Wilfred Boney, and he says hi to Johnny, and he's such a nice guy, and I was like, this is what, like, it's unbelievable because he's just right, he's right there,
Yeah.
and so I really enjoyed watching when I was growing up. I played with him in FIFA, so it was a cool experience. So he's
Yeah.
a really nice guy. He's like, if you need anything, these 2 weeks, just ask. I was like, dang, that was, what a nice guy. So
Yeah.
that was my first day, and I was like, dang, this is awesome here. So it was really nice. The area in Wales was really nice. I enjoyed it. It rained a lot, so it was kind of hard to do stuff there, but I managed to, get around, talk to people, hang out. And when I got to playing, it was my third day in Wales, in Swansea, and the guys were really nice. Like the players were, really welcoming. They all asked you, how college was. They really wanted to come to America and experience, college life. And I said it was really awesome. And they were like, oh, how was winning national championship? So they had all these questions for me. They were really positive with me and really open arms. So I was really thankful for that, and really blessed to have great people in that locker room, in that environment to help me get through the 2 weeks of training. And each day, it was really, really, really intense. It was fun. It was only like one session, intense session a day, but it was good work. They enjoyed my company. They said I was really good at what I was doing, defending. They said, of course, I got to get better at stuff. So I took that, with a grain of salt, and I was like, okay, I'll work on that when I get back to DC. And it was just a great experience. And what was really cool is that when I would train with them, they would train, maybe at like 75%. And I was like, man, I can play at this level. And then it comes to game time, completely different game. They're all
Mm-hmm.
just so cohesive. They're playing the ball to their, perfectly correct foot to get them out of pressure. So if it gets into the front foot, the guy coming to defend that guy will probably have to clip him and foul them. And they were just, pinging it. They were in perfect positioning. It was just, it was just awesome to watch that game. They played Norwich City, and it was really, really cool to see how we transferred.
U23s?
Yeah, under 23s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to see the transition of, our passing drills and playing to the correct foot and perfect weight and playing long balls, perfect timing and stuff that we were doing, defending, certain positioning, how that all correlated to the game
Mm-hmm.
against Norwich. And I could see that, vividly. I was like, dang, this is exactly what we worked on, and they're doing it, to a crisp, to it perfectly. And it was really, really awesome to see that, and be like, dang, okay, so uh, they picked it up another level when it got to game time. It's just
Mm-hmm.
completely different. That was
Mm-hmm.
that was cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's always cool to see, especially like throughout training from the week and actually seeing the application of it. And it sounds like they
It's
applied it really well for the game
Yeah,
too.
it's crazy. Like the stuff that they do, they basically they put together a system, of the player when they're at a young age, and so they feel it's like a sheet of what they have to do from like a level like say like age 13 to age 18, so they can become a professional player. And so if they get through all this stuff, they will be at the upper echelon of their
Mhm.
peak to transition to being a pro. So they take that really seriously. So every kid, every player has, a sheet that they have to, you know, do every day and stay, consistent with. And if they stick to these things, they'll be a professional player. And that's why um, I got to see what's his name, where Daniel James, the striker for Man
Mhm.
United. So he was sitting base. He wasn't sitting at the time, but he was like his name was next to me where I was sitting in the locker room. So that was pretty cool to um,
Mhm.
to see that. So that was kind of a blessing to me. I was like, "Wait, is that the Daniel James on Man U?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, he played here last year." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Dang, that's wild." So it's just a lot of history, a lot of cool things that I experienced there that I'll never forget,
Mhm.
and just the little nuances that you just pick up. You're like, wow. And then you just sometimes got to sit down and for me, just to sit down and just thank God and realize like, wow, he got me to this point and to where I am now, and I couldn't have gotten here without him. And I just start thinking, sometimes you just gotta reminisce in the fact that you've done so much to get to where you are, but there's always, you can always improve. And for me, I
Mhm.
want to, keep improving, keep showing that I can play in this league and the MLS, and keep doing my best to do well out there. So on the field and keep just proving my worth as a player and a person and a player of the game.
Mhm. Definitely. Sounds like you really like to uh have a lot of gratitude for the moment as well,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
also understand like, there's also a bigger picture, to continue to keep playing better, but not get too lost in that, and like
Yeah,
really
exactly.
enjoy the moment.
Hmm.
I remember you said that as well on Quincy's
Oh yeah,
IG.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because like that is true because like a lot of times like players can get really like frustrated or anxious because they're thinking, "Oh, I got to get here." But,
Hmm.
during the time like they might get injured or something like that, but
Hmm.
um yeah, really really, enjoying the moment
Hmm.
because like you said like you sitting in the locker room over there in Swansea and things like that and also playing your first year. Go ahead. T touch upon that,
Oh yeah, no, I was just so for the comments,
Mhm.
but but yeah, you can keep going, John. I mean,
Mhm.
what you're saying is completely right. I feel like everyone lives in the moment, but you got to make sure you realize that this could be over at any moment. So you got to make
Mhm.
sure you live it up, you enjoy it. I spent a lot of time in college, studying, and I was really focused on what I needed to do to get to the next level. So studying, working hard in soccer, putting in the extra work. I had to put in a lot of work in the off season to, play in college really well during the times that I was playing. And you just got to enjoy the process because that's how you're going to enjoy the other moments, enjoy the process of working hard, running, miles, doing that extra, dribbling work,
Mhm.
passing the ball against the wall. You got to enjoy that because you never know when it's going to be over. I'm 22. Um, I still want to, keep playing this at, 28, 29, and, just playing the game that I love and still have the passion for it. So you just want to keep enjoying the moment and just keep trusting the process because if you keep working and keep, grinding, there's always going to
Mhm.
be, light at the end of the tunnel. It's always going to be progress being made. So just keep working hard, keep grinding. No matter what anyone says, there's a lot of people who weren't in my corner growing up, and kind of looked beside me and said I'm too tall or my skills weren't the best, and you just gotta just keep working and prove them wrong. I mean, yeah, you can prove them wrong, but just be true to yourself and stay focused on what you have to do, and be like, you can do it. Just put in your head, you can do it, and always compete and uh, just do your best. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Exactly. Uh, yeah, I don't, let's see, EXV Studio. He said right here in the comments, you are
Yeah, I
where you
appreciate it.
are because you deserved it, and
Appreciate it. It means a
and
lot.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, just, like that self-talk, like you can do it
Hmm.
and things like that. And
Right.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, but there's always, for me, there's so many things. Yeah, like
hmm
there's, in school and like in college, there's so many distractions.
hmm
You know, you gotta make sacrifices. Like if you're in college, if anyone's on here, transitioning, uh, just just focus on what you have to do because it
hmm
will put you in the right direction. If you can go out, do all that stuff, yeah, but there's other people who are going to be working harder than you, in the classroom, on the field, doing that extra stuff. There was something that I did with other guys. If I didn't play in the game and I didn't, get any minutes, I would go after the game. I would get some balls with other guys and just, hit balls after the game in darkness. It's 10:30 at night, 11. We have practice in the morning for recovery, but you still got to put in the work. You still got to get touches on the ball. You still have to just play. If you play every day, 30 minutes, an hour dribbling, you're gonna see progress. Like for me right now is getting a little bit stronger. I probably want to get more explosive, but I'm getting a lot more, stronger, and I stick to a routine every day. I wake up, I do a lift, I have my protein, I read a book, stay, active, and then, around noontime, and I do my runs. So I stick to a consistent regimen so I can, just be happy and just stay consistent and know that I'm putting in the work each day at this time. So I know I'm getting the job done and doing the best that I can to propel me forward when I'm needed the most in the games. So you just want to stick to a consistent routine, plan it out. It's really good to plan. It's the best bet. Create a schedule for yourself. I know a lot. I didn't really like planning when I was, younger, but planning is very, very important to, being successful, and it gets you through a lot of things a lot easier than most. So you got to make sure you
hmm
plan accordingly, stay consistent with that routine, and you will
hmm
see a lot of progress. What's up, Chris?
And let's see here. It says Brandon Miranda. You
Oh,
know, he said, definitely enjoy these moments that God has gave you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you were just saying. And
Thanks, bro.
yeah, I think anything else. As we wrap up here, anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to talk about?
I said a lot. I mean, people can ask me questions if they want right now. Or I guess I got a good amount of knowledge to share. But
Mhm.
um, Durkin, love you too, bro. Um, but
Alrighty, well, sounds good. I appreciate you coming on and
yeah,
everything.
of
You
course,
know,
John, I got you.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And I'll definitely continue to follow you on your career and everything. And
appreciate it.
hopefully we could do this again
Yeah,
soon.
of
Or
course. Thanks
yeah,
for having me. I
yeah,
really
definitely.
appreciate this. This was fun.
hmm
Really, really enjoyed it.
All right, Donovan, appreciate you. Thanks for
All right,
coming
yeah,
on.
you too. All right, take
Alrighty,
care, man.